Welcome to PyUncut, where we break down the biggest stories in technology and markets into simple, powerful insights. Today, we are talking about a company that is no longer just a tech giant. It is becoming the backbone of the global AI economy. Nvidia has just reported a staggering $68.13 billion in quarterly revenue. And here is the key point. This is not the peak. This might just be the beginning. Let's start with the headline number. Nvidia reported $68.1 billion in revenue for a single quarter, growing more than 70% compared to the same time last year. Nvidia Newsroom 1. This is not normal growth. This is hypergrowth at a scale rarely seen in corporate history. For context, most companies spend decades trying to reach this level of revenue annually. Nvidia is now doing it in just 3 months. But the real story is not just the size of the number. It is where the money is coming from. Out of that $68 billion, more than $62 billion came from Nvidia's data center business. That means over 90% of its revenue is now tied directly to AI infrastructure. This is a massive shift. Just a few years ago, Nvidia was known primarily for gaming GPUs. Today, gaming is a small part of the business. AI is everything. So what is driving this explosive growth? The answer is simple. Every major company in the world is racing to build AI systems. Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, OpenAI, all of them are investing billions into AI infrastructure. And almost all of them depend on Nvidia's chips and networking systems to make it work. 24/7 Wall Street 2. This creates something very powerful. A central position in the AI ecosystem. Think of Nvidia not as a chip company, but as the supplier of the entire AI factory. It provides the chips, the networking, the software stack, and even the architecture that connects everything together. This is why Jensen Huang describes Nvidia as a full-stack AI platform. And this is where the concept of an unstoppable company begins to make sense. Let's go deeper into the numbers. Nvidia's data center revenue grew about 75% year over year. But within that, one segment stands out even more. Networking revenue surged over 260%. 24/7 Wall Street 2. Why does this matter? Because AI is not just about chips anymore. It is about connecting thousands, sometimes millions, of GPUs into one massive system. Nvidia's NVLink technology allows these systems to operate as a single unit. This creates a huge competitive advantage. Once a company builds its AI infrastructure using Nvidia's ecosystem, switching becomes extremely difficult. This is what investors call a moat. And Nvidia's moat is getting wider. Now let's talk about profitability. Nvidia is not just growing fast. It is incredibly profitable. The company reported gross margins of around 75%. That is an extraordinary number for a hardware company. It means Nvidia is not just selling products. It is selling critical infrastructure with very high pricing power. And here is another important signal. Nvidia generated massive free cash flow, nearly $35 billion in a single quarter. 24/7 Wall Street 2. This gives the company enormous flexibility to invest, innovate, and stay ahead of competitors. But what really shocked the market was not just the past performance. It was the future outlook. Nvidia is guiding for around $78 billion in revenue for the next quarter. The Motley Fool 3. That suggests the growth is not slowing down. In fact, it is accelerating. Even more surprising is the long-term projection. Jensen Huang has indicated that Nvidia could generate up to $1 trillion in AI-related revenue over the next few years. The Street 4. If that happens, it would redefine what is possible for a single company. So why is this happening now? The answer lies in a major shift in how AI is being used. For years, companies focused on training AI models. But now we are entering what Huang calls the, quote, inference phase. This is when AI starts doing real work. The Street 4. Instead of just learning, AI is now generating content, automating tasks, running businesses, and powering applications used by millions of people. This requires constant computation, and that means constant demand for Nvidia's hardware. In other words, AI is moving from experiment to production. And production requires scale. This is why companies are building what can be described as AI factories. Massive data centers filled with thousands of GPUs, running 24 hours a day. These are not small investments. They are multi-billion-dollar projects. And Nvidia is at the center of all of them. Now let's address an important question. If Nvidia is doing so well, why are some investors still cautious? The concern is simple. Is this growth sustainable? There are fears about an AI bubble. Some believe that companies may be overinvesting in AI infrastructure. Others worry about competition, especially from custom chips developed by companies like Google and Amazon. These are valid concerns. But so far, the data tells a different story. Demand for Nvidia's products continues to exceed supply. Major tech companies are not slowing down their spending. In fact, they are increasing it. And enterprise adoption of AI is just getting started. This brings us to a critical insight. Nvidia is not just riding the AI wave, it is enabling it. And that is a very different position. In previous tech cycles, companies competed for market share within an industry. Nvidia, on the other hand, is supplying the tools that power the entire industry. That gives it leverage across multiple sectors, from cloud computing to healthcare to autonomous systems. Now let's talk about what this means for investors and the global market. First, Nvidia has become a key indicator of the AI economy. When Nvidia grows, it signals strong demand for AI infrastructure across the world. Second, this growth is reshaping capital allocation. Companies are shifting billions of dollars toward AI investments. This is creating ripple effects across industries, including energy, real estate, and supply chains. Third, the scale of this transformation is enormous. We are not talking about a single product or market. We are talking about a fundamental shift in how computing works. And this is why Nvidia's $68 billion quarter matters. It is not just a financial milestone. It is a signal that the AI revolution is accelerating. A signal that infrastructure, not just software, is the foundation of this new era. And a signal that we may still be in the early stages of this transformation. To conclude, Nvidia's performance challenges one of the most common assumptions in the market. That growth eventually slows down. In Nvidia's case, the opposite seems to be happening. Growth is speeding up, demand is expanding, and the company's role in the global economy is becoming more central than ever. So is Nvidia unstoppable? Nothing in the market is truly unstoppable, but right now, Nvidia is closer than most companies have ever been. The real question is not whether Nvidia will grow. The real question is how big this AI economy can become. Because if the current trajectory continues, Nvidia's $68 billion quarter may one day look small compared to what comes next. This is PyUncut. Stay informed, stay ahead, and I will see you in the next one.